My trip to Georgia. Once when I was a child at the age of 8, I went to Georgia for spring break. I was stoked. My first time out of state for a week. Once we packed up and got in the car, I found out it wasn't going to be as it seemed. In fact, it was probably the worst experience of my life so far in the past 15 years. It all started when we hit Illinois and my brother was complaining on why we had to go to Georgia. And my mom told him because we need to see Uncle Warren, since he always comes up to see all of his family. We're doing this to make him feel nice about all he has done. But can't we do that in the summer or something? I mean, spring break, growled my brother. No buts. This happens in spring break to make it even more wonderful for your uncle, argued my mother, trying to convince him. After she said that, my brother pouted for a while and fell asleep until we got to a motel. The next day we got to Tennessee. Smelled quite terrible, or good. Depends on what you think old boots are to you. Though it smelled kind of weird, the view was beautiful. Going through all of those green hills with the sun shining right on the hills at an almost perfect angle. It was awesome. And before we knew it, we got to Georgia. And in a few minutes we would be in Atlanta, where we shall meet our uncle. He was absolutely shocked to see us. When I was shocked as well, seeing how we didn't look so good at the time. His house was kind of small. The front door led to his kitchen, which then led to his living room. Turning left, you hit a dining room, or you could go straight and hit two bedrooms. The set of the house kind of reminded me in between cinnamon and moss. After being lazy for a day, we decided that we needed some fun, so we went to this very fancy mall in Atlanta. Sadly enough, though, my brother was sick, so he couldn't come, and my mom stayed with him to look after him, since he was about my age when the story was. It was gargantuan. The mall was amazing. It was as cool as an ice cube in there, which was nice for the hot weather outside. My sister got a few nice bracelets that were pretty popular and some shoes. My dad bought a few normal shirts, obviously. I myself got pretty much nothing in particular but some candy, and we headed home to tell them how exciting it was seeing the mall for the first time ever. Once we headed home, we stayed home for a while. My mind is kind of fluctuating between the time when I stayed up watching my first Japanese cartoon in years with my brother, and the time I first met my cousin next door to my uncle's. But the cousin next door had some pretty dark memories, so I'll speak about the Japanese cartoon. On April 1st, I was forced to watch my first Japanese adultish cartoon called, believe it or not, Bleach. But instead of that happening, I got this cruddy, trippy, poor excuse of an April Fool's joke. A weird squiggly doodle of a weird man in a rainbow afro with a white, sketchy unicorn and some obscure background. And I immediately turned off the television and went to bed with a tear in my eye. Yeah, I know, that was kind of lame. After a few days holding in my own pain, my dad took me and some of our relatives to see this awesome digital Civil War reenactment of storytelling. A large dome-shaped television that covered your whole wall and ceiling. I believe it was about an hour and a half long, too. With so much excitement, my heart was going to burst. After the reenactment of the battle, there was a gift shop, we, where we bought two Canon pencil sharpeners that I believe were made out of copper or brass, and one shiny toy cannon that looked like it was made out of silver. When we hunted outside, we saw a cannon, and we all had the same idea, touching it. It felt so rugged and solid, like someone chipped about 3 layers of it in several areas. Not long after those events, we left back to get back home to enjoy the last few days there. We said goodbye to Uncle Warren, and for me, it was to never see him again. He was so happy. This story of my life told me to enjoy special times in my life with the others around you, because you don't know if it'll be your last with them. My Uncle Warren died a few years after, and thinking about it now, I wish I would have had spent a little more time with him.